Hello Sagittarius, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jen with Bohemian Path Tarot, and I have a cold. I apologize for my voice. I know I sound very silly, but I've got some tea here, and if I don't record this tonight, I won't get this done before June. So let's persevere. I appreciate your grace as we just go ahead and do our best. I've got the Curious Travels Tarot here and the Familiar Field Oracle. And as always, let me just take a... I apologize for my slurping. As always, these are general intuitive readings. And so it's not quite the same as a one-to-one reading. Please take what resonates and leave the rest for another Sagittarius or another day. And I do invite you to check out the videos for all three of your zodiac placements, your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle, but I always fast forward the video over the shuffling part, so I'll catch up with you as I'm about to lay out the cards. See you in just a bit. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see what we've got. The Seven of Wands, the Moon, the Three of Cups, and the Two of Cups. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm all over the map here. Let's see. How about that? Better. Better. That will have to do. Let's grab. All right. Crocodile. That's so interesting. Okay. Let's go through the tarot first and see where the crocodile fits in. So first we have the Two of Cups, and somebody else got the Two of Cups. I can't remember who it was. I want to say maybe it was Cancer. I can't remember who it was. But the Two of Cups is about connecting, right? It's about bonding. It's about those relationships where you feel free to be, you know, fully yourself and fully connected with another. Now, we think of the Two of Cups mostly with romantic relationships, right? But that's not all that it speaks to. It can also speak to something like a best friend relationship. You know, someone you can be truly your like messy, honest self with, and someone who feels free to be their messy, honest self with you. But it doesn't always have to be messy. It could also be, you know, those situations where you work really, really well. Like you can kind of read somebody else's mind, like a good working relationship. Sometimes, you know, you can anticipate what your coworker needs, or a creative partner, like in improv, you know, when you have somebody else's back. Not everybody's going to understand that reference, but maybe one or two of you out there does. If you ever do improv and, you know, you're out on stage and you have to have each other's backs. It can be that kind of a thing too that this speaks to, like really trusting somebody to have your back. And so the fact that this card comes up here, it can speak to a time when you are exploring getting closer to someone, like deepening a connection, or when you become really aware that a connection has gotten, hey, I've really fallen for this person, or hey, I really work well with this group. I really like this team, or you know what? I want to join that association or that club or whatever it is. So it can be a time when you're looking to join up or connect or open yourself up to deepening a connection. And we can see this in some of these other cards here, that sense that it's time to open up and maybe deepen up. Maybe a conscious choice to go deeper or connect with another or others. Because, and this may sound weird, but this is going to be, I think this will resonate for some of you in different ways. But here we have the Seven of Wands, which can be, and for me, I've mentioned this before. If you've been here before, you you hear me talk about this all the time. I'm an actor, and for me, this is an audition card. So for any of you who might be in the same kind of, I want to audition for a choir or an improv group or community theater, I want to work with that group or something like that. This can be how this connection works for you. You might want to audition and associate yourself with a new group. It could be something like that. This could also work as like an interview card, like in a traditional interview. Like if you are on the job hunt, it could be a traditional interview card. Let me get some tea. Sorry, I know I sound very, very silly. Thank you for bearing with me this month. The inherent advice with the Seven of Wands is you have the talent, whatever it is that you are putting yourself out there for. You have the talent for the thing that you seek, as long as you are sort of bold and brave and present yourself honestly. You will be successful in achieving the goal you set out for. There's some sort of audition or interview or something that you need to sort of put yourself out there for. This could also be a date, I suppose. This could also be a date. I forget that. Yeah, that's even the more obvious way this could show up. But it is about putting yourself out there and about sharing your honest self, your true, authentic self. And the next card we have here is the Moon. So again, there is this piece about, let's get that in focus. This can show up a couple of different ways. Again, for artists, this can be really inspirational. Whether you're a visual artist or a writer or, graphic novels or whatever your kind of art is, you can be inspired under this influence. The Moon can speak to, pulling from a muse or some sort of inspiration. This can also speak to being inspired by, and this sounds weird, but there can also be that piece about being inspired by trauma or nightmares or the dark. So using darkness to inspire your art or something like that. The Moon can also, but for those of you who aren't, artists and wouldn't be using the Moon energy in that way, it can speak to just a time when things are a bit unclear. especially if you've gone on a date and you have hopeful feelings and you aren't really sure, don't over process. Just because things aren't super clear right now, that's not an unusual state of being. When you're in a new situation, especially in a dating situation, or even with a new group, there are just times in our lives when we don't get to know the full truth, and when it's easy to overanalyze or blow, certain, how can I say it? When we're in the dark, how sometimes shadows can appear to be figures that are huge and scary, and then when you see what they really are, that's like a little mouse or something. That's what the moon energy can be like that. Like, we can be afraid of this shadow under the influence of the moon, when it turns out it's just like a little cricket. But because there isn't enough light, we aren't seeing something correctly. So don't worry about, there may be a phase mid-month where you're having some fears or doubts about maybe this situation, but it's just because there isn't enough information yet and your emotions are just running wild. You just don't have enough factual information to put it all together. But on the other side of this, there's going to be some kind of a celebration, something to celebrate. And I mean, look at, you can even see in this. And as I told somebody else, I forget who it was. I think it might have been Aries, Taurus. I forget. Somebody else got this card. But this is the card of celebrations. And again, not to make this about me, but I use this card a lot for the opening of plays, like when it's opening night and you get to celebrate after the play is open. That could be something like this. So whatever has like got you worried over here, by the month's end, like it's kind of cleared up. The lights have come on, and we see that it was nothing to worry about. It's actually something to celebrate, and everything is cleared up, and there's a happy ending at the end. This is you celebrating with your friends, and maybe even some kind of victory, or at least you get to celebrate with your friends. So, I mean, take it as it resonates for you. It's going to be different for different Sagittarians as to why you celebrate. But I will say, this moon period, this is the one major arcana card you have here. So that's going to feel like the heaviest thing this month. That is probably going to take up some of your a lot of your energy, and that's going to feel more heavier than anything else going on here for some time. Oh, not for nothing, for any of you with menstrual PCOS, kind of stuff, this could be especially heavy this month. I'm just gonna say, sorry to, it's just showing up. So, oh, and the crocodile. So the thing about crocodile is, it's all about, this is a funny one. So crocodile is, crocodile goes after what they want, right? But they can be real stealth. Sometimes they'll wait super still for hours, for a day. They have just the perfect timing. So maybe that's part of, what the response to this is about. It might be there's something that you have to wait. Maybe that's what crocodile is saying. there's something you might have to wait for an answer on before you can move forward, before you can attack, or before you can get your big meal, or that sounds terrible. But, crocodile is a predator, and before they can get their kind of their meal, they have to attack when the moment is right. They can't attack a moment before. They have to be smart about it. So I know you don't want to be a predator so much, Sagittarius, probably, or maybe you do. I shouldn't assume. But this is just about right timing. Let's just put it that way. And there's a phase here where the time just isn't right for you to know. So we've got 2 cards that are about timing for you. But there is something here that is very clearly about deepening connections. There is an interview, or an audition, or a date, or a reason to put yourself out there and be the true version of you, not a fake, false you, but a true version of you, and a celebration at the end of the month. But this timing piece, just don't worry about. Don't let shadows fool you. Just wait for the right time, and there'll be something to celebrate. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for dropping by. If this has been helpful, I hope you'll consider leaving a like or a comment or subscribe. In any case, take good care. Until next time, bye for now.